Welcome to our channel. If you're passionate about music and intrigued by the shocking stories behind the spotlight, then you've come to the right place. Today, we're diving into a truly stunning event. The moment when a gospel music legend passed away live on stage. Great artists don't just leave behind timeless music. They also carry unforgettable stories, sometimes filled with tragedy. Join us as we take a closer look at the life and career of this incredible artist, as well as their final moments on stage. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, so you won't miss any of the extraordinary stories ahead. Mahalia Jackson, the queen of gospel music and the torchbearer for the civil rights movement.
Know ye and see, and I am one.
Mahalia Jackson was born in 1911 in New Orleans, Louisiana, a place rich in musical traditions but also rife with injustices against the African American community. From a young age, she exhibited a passionate devotion to gospel music, frequently participating in singing at her local church. Each time she sang, she didn't just perform. She conveyed profound emotions that often brought her listeners to tears. Mahalia's childhood was not easy. She lost her mother at a young age and had to work hard to make a living. However, it was precisely in these difficult circumstances that she found strength and faith in music. As she grew older, Mahalia decided to leave her hometown for Chicago, hoping to change her life. She worked as a maid while singing at church services. It was here that Mahalia's powerful voice was discovered, leading her step by step to become a gospel music legend. The 1940s marked a significant milestone in Mahalia Jackson's career when she recorded the song "Move On Up a Little Higher," a powerful hymn that resonated throughout the United States and became the best-selling gospel single of all time, with over 1 million copies sold. Her voice was not only strong but also embodied the spirit of an entire community. Mahalia sang not just with technique, but with her heart, with every lyric carrying the weight of pain, faith, and hope. She quickly became the first gospel artist to perform at Carnegie Hall, a venue that had traditionally hosted classical and jazz artists. This event not only marked a turning point in Mahalia's career, but also helped gospel music transcend the boundaries of the church, touching the hearts of millions of music lovers worldwide. Not only was Mahalia a golden voice, but she was also an unwavering warrior for the civil rights movement in America. She was a close friend and an important ally of Martin Luther King Jr., often accompanying him in marches demanding equality for African Americans. The most historic moment occurred in 1963 during the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom, when Mahalia sang "I've Been Booked and I've Been Scorned" before over 250,000 people. Moreover, she played a decisive role in the legendary "I Have a Dream" speech. When Martin Luther King Jr. hesitated on stage, Mahalia shouted, "Tell them about the dream," and that moment opened the door for one of the greatest speeches in human history. Despite achieving tremendous success, Mahalia Jackson never forgot her roots. She refused to perform at venues with racist policies and always used her influence to fight for social justice. In addition to her artistic endeavors, she opened businesses and provided financial support to struggling African Americans. However, her path to advocacy was not easy. Mahalia received numerous threats from racists, and the pressures of her career and life took a heavy toll on her health. But despite the surrounding difficulties, she remained steadfast in her ideals. Mahalia Jackson once said, "I don't sing to entertain. I sing to save souls." And indeed, Her voice not only saved souls but also inspired and empowered an entire generation. Mahalia Jackson passed away in 1972, but her legacy lives on through time. She was not only a great artist, but also a symbol of strength, perseverance, and relentless struggle. Her songs continue to resonate in churches, festivals, and significant moments in history. Great artists such as Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, and Beyoncé have all acknowledged the influence of her voice and spirit. Today, as the world still grapples with injustice, the melodies of Mahalia Jackson bring hope and faith to millions. Have you ever heard her sing? If not, give it a listen. You might just understand why such a small woman could change the course of history. Tragedy in the Skies of Wyoming. The heartbreaking loss of gospel. Singer Kelly Nellen Clark's family.
At the door, and someone new walks in. I will smile and shake their hand, make old friends. How will I?
On July 26, 2024, devastating news sent shockwaves through the gospel music community worldwide. A plane carrying gospel singer Kelly Nellen Clark and her family crashed in a remote mountainous area of Wyoming, claiming the lives of Kelly, her husband, Jason Clark, and their daughter Amber Nellen Clark. This tragic event is not only an immense loss for their loved ones and friends, but also a profound shock to those who cherished Kelly Nellen Clark's powerful and soulful voice. She and her family dedicated their lives to gospel music, spreading faith and hope to millions. But now, the skies that once carried their melodies have fallen silent forever. Kelly Nellen Clark was more than just a talented singer. She was the heir to a deep musical legacy from the Nellen family, one of the most influential names in gospel music. Born and raised in an environment filled with songs of faith, Kelly displayed an extraordinary gift from an early age, possessing a rich, powerful voice that resonated with countless hearts. Alongside her group, the Nellens, she left a lasting impact through soul-stirring hymns that offered comfort and inspiration to those seeking light in their lives. Her husband, Jason Clark, was not only a devoted spouse and father, but also a gifted musician and producer who played a vital role in the family's musical journey. Their daughter, Amber Nellen Clark, was a rising star in gospel music, carrying forward the family's passion with unwavering dedication. The accident occurred while the family was en route to a gospel music event, where they had planned to once again lift their voices in praise as they had done for so many years. But fate had other plans. According to initial reports, poor weather conditions may have caused the plane to lose control and crash into a remote area of Wyoming. Witnesses at the scene reported seeing a bright flash before the aircraft disappeared from view. By the time rescue teams arrived, all that remained were fragments of the wreckage. No one on board survived. In that tragic moment, a beautiful musical performance they had prepared for their audience was silenced forever, leaving behind an irreplaceable void. As soon as the news was confirmed, the gospel music world and thousands of fans worldwide expressed their deepest condolences. Prominent artists such as Bill Gaither, CeCe Winans, and Michael W. Smith shared heartfelt tributes, reminiscing about their treasured memories with Kelly and her family. Across social media, tens of thousands of people posted touching messages, recalling the times they had been moved by Kelly's voice, her radiant presence on stage, and the way she, Jason, and Amber brought songs of faith to life. Churches across the United States held special services to honor and remember the Nellen family, individuals who dedicated their lives to using music as a vessel for inspiration and love. Although they are no longer with us, the legacy of Kelly Nellen Clark and her family will live on. Their songs were more than just melodies. They were prayers, beacons of hope for those searching for light in their darkest moments. They lived fully, fulfilling their passion and calling. And even though they have left this world, their voices will echo forever. Have you ever listened to their music? Share your thoughts in the comments as we remember them together. Dottie Rambo, the legendary journey of a gospel singer who gave her all until the very end.
behind me. Any trials all through, and too many tears.
Dottie Rambo, a name etched in gospel music history as a beacon of faith and hope for millions. Her life was a symphony of triumphs and trials, but every note she left behind carried the breath of love, resilience, and unwavering faith. For over 5 decades, Dottie wrote, sang, and delivered songs that had the power to heal souls. She was not just a singer, but also an extraordinary songwriter, penning over 2,500 songs that touched the hearts of audiences worldwide. Yet, the life of a legend is never an easy one. Hardships and physical pain never deterred her. Instead, they fueled the fire within her. And as if destined by fate, Dottie Rambo passed away in a tragic accident while still fulfilling her mission, singing until her very last breath. Born into a poor family in Kentucky, Dottie displayed an extraordinary musical talent at a young age. By the time she was just 8 years old, she had already begun composing her first songs. At 12, she made the bold decision to leave home to pursue her passion for singing. Armed with nothing but an old guitar and an unshakable faith, she traveled from church to church, performing her original compositions on small stages. Those difficult early years shaped her into a strong-willed artist who never backed down from challenges. She wrote about pain, hope, and faith, not just as lyrics, but as stories and messages of comfort for those who felt lost. Songs like "He Looked Beyond My Fault and Saw My Need," "I Go to the Rock," and "We Shall Behold Him" cemented her legacy as one of the greatest gospel artists of all time. Until the very end. Though Dottie Rambo is no longer here, her legacy lives on. Her songs continue to be sung in churches, embraced by millions who find solace and inspiration in her words. She was more than a singer and songwriter. She was a symbol of perseverance, devotion, and an unshakable belief in the power of faith. Her story continues to inspire generations, reminding them that true passion can never be extinguished. Have you ever listened to Dottie Rambo's songs? Which one has moved you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments and join us in honoring the legacy of a gospel music legend. La Shun Pace, a gospel legend and an inspiring journey.
Remember, you're more than a conqueror, and this is what I want you to know. You got to then wait my you got to let you know.
La Shun Pace was born on September 6, 1961, in Atlanta, Georgia, as one of 10 siblings. From an early age, she was immersed in the heartfelt melodies of gospel music, nurtured by her deep faith in God and a strict religious upbringing. She and her sisters began their musical journey in local churches, where her exceptional voice quickly left a lasting impression. Despite growing up in challenging circumstances, nothing could deter LaShun from pursuing her passion. Performing as the Anointed Pace Sisters, she and her sisters regularly sang at religious events, steadily building their reputation in the gospel music world. The late 1980s marked a turning point in LaShun Pace's career as she embarked on a solo journey. Her debut album, He Lives, released in 1990, quickly gained widespread recognition, particularly with the song I Know I've Been Changed, a powerful gospel track with a message of salvation. Success followed success, as she continued to release hit songs like "There's a Leak in This Old Building," "For My Good," and the well-known "Act Like You Know." LaChun's voice was not only powerful, but also deeply heartfelt, resonating with listeners on a profound level. She soon became one of the most influential gospel artists of her time, transforming every song into a sacred and emotional experience. Despite her remarkable career, LaChun's personal life was filled with heartbreaking struggles. One of her greatest tragedies came in 2001, when her daughter, Zania Pace Rhodes, passed away at just 11 years old due to a heart condition. The devastating loss led LaChun into a deep emotional crisis, but she refused to let grief defeat her. Instead, she turned to music as a form of healing, continuing to write and perform with even greater strength. Her later songs carried even more emotional depth, reflecting pain, loss, and resilience, yet always infused with hope. Her unwavering faith and perseverance allowed her to sustain her career until the very end, cementing her status as a symbol of spiritual strength. LaChun Pace's legacy extended beyond her incredible voice. She also ventured into acting. In 1992, she appeared in the film at the age of 60 after a long battle with kidney disease. Her passing was a tremendous loss to the gospel community, but her musical legacy continues to live on. Her songs remain beloved, inspiring and uplifting generations of listeners. She was more than just a singer. She was a true warrior of gospel music. Have you ever listened to her songs? Share your thoughts, and let's honor the memory of this legendary artist together. Edwin Hawkins, a gospel legend, and his timeless musical legacy.
Just, just if you will, on a journey. Walk us back, because just about everybody on during that time in 1969. Take us back.
Edwin Hawkins was born on August 18, 1943, in Oakland, California, into a musically gifted family. From a young age, he displayed remarkable talent, playing the piano at his local church. Growing up surrounded by gospel melodies, Hawkins was naturally drawn to sacred music. By the age of 7, he was already playing in the church choir and gradually took on the role of composer. As a teenager, he and his friends formed a gospel group, laying the foundation for his illustrious career. His deep passion for music helped him overcome early challenges, allowing him to steadily build his reputation in the gospel music scene. The biggest turning point in Edwin Hawkins's career came in the late 1960s, when he and his group, the Edwin Hawkins Singers, recorded "Oh Happy Day." Originally intended as a fundraiser for the church, the song unexpectedly became a global phenomenon. "Oh Happy Day" quickly climbed the Billboard Hot 100 chart in 1969, won a Grammy Award, and became one of the most iconic gospel songs of all time. Its success propelled Edwin Hawkins beyond the boundaries of religious music, allowing him to reach mainstream audiences and influence generations of artists to come. Following the massive success of "Oh Happy Day," Edwin Hawkins continued to produce high-quality gospel music with songs like "To My Father's House," "Every Man Wants to Be Free," and "Wonderful." His compositions were not only melodically captivating, but also carried profound messages of faith and salvation. Beyond being a performer, he played a crucial role in mentoring and inspiring young gospel singers. His music uniquely blended traditional gospel with soul and R&B influences, creating a distinct style that was both deeply moving and uplifting. Despite worldwide fame, Edwin Hawkins remained humble and dedicated to his musical mission. He never pursued the glitz and glamour of the entertainment industry, but stayed closely connected to church activities and his community. Over his 50-year career, he continued composing, performing, and spreading love through his music. Hawkins also helped pave the way for many young gospel artists, ensuring the genre's continued growth in the modern era. His unwavering contributions solidified his place as one of the greatest figures in gospel music history. On January 15, 2018, Edwin Hawkins passed away at the age of 74 after a long battle with pancreatic cancer. His passing left an immense void in the hearts of fans and fellow artists. However, his legacy lives on. "Oh, Happy Day" and his other masterpieces continue to be performed in churches, festivals, and music events worldwide. Have you ever heard "Oh, Happy Day"? Share your thoughts and join us in honoring one of gospel music's greatest legends. Osinachi Nwachukwu, the tragedy of a gospel star and a nationwide outrage.
I'm Mrs. Nwachukwu Osinachi. I'm from and I'm married to Anambra.
Osinachi Nwachukwu was one of Nigeria's most prominent gospel singers, known for her powerful and soulful voice. Born and raised in a Christian family, she discovered her musical talent early on and dedicated her life to spreading messages of faith through sacred melodies. She gained widespread recognition with her hit song Ekwueme, a track that touched the hearts of millions. With her passionate and emotionally charged performances, Osinachi was not only an exceptional gospel singer, but also a symbol of faith and perseverance. However, behind the bright lights of the stage lay a life filled with suffering, one that few people knew about. Her tragic fate would later send shockwaves across the nation. On April 8, 2022, news of Osinachi's sudden passing stunned the public. Initially, many believed she had died due to health complications, but a horrifying truth soon emerged. According to accounts from her family and close friends, Osinachi had endured years of domestic abuse. Her husband, once perceived as a devout man, was in fact her abuser, controlling and mistreating her for years. When these revelations surfaced, they ignited national outrage, sparking widespread conversations about domestic violence and the culture of silence within faith-based communities. Osinachi's death was not just a great loss to the gospel music industry. It became a wake-up call regarding domestic abuse in marriages. Many began to question, how could such a talented woman, adored by millions, endure such suffering? Why hadn't those around her intervened sooner? Her story shed light on a harsh reality. Countless women remain trapped in abusive marriages due to societal pressures, family expectations, and religious beliefs that encourage endurance over escape. This case fueled discussions on women's rights and the urgent need for better protection within religious institutions, where many still believe that endurance is a virtue of faith. Following the shocking revelations, Nigerian authorities launched an investigation, leading to the arrest of Osinachi's husband on charges of abuse and culpability in her death. The case became one of the most widely discussed issues in Nigerian media, prompting debates about the responsibility of society in protecting vulnerable women. Artists, religious leaders, and human rights organizations voiced their demands for change, calling for stricter legal measures to safeguard women from domestic violence. Osinachi's passing became a symbol of the fight against abuse, not just in the gospel community, but across the entire nation. Although she is no longer with us, Osinachi Nwachukwu's voice and legacy live on in the hearts of her fans. Her songs continue to resonate in churches, festivals, and religious gatherings, serving as both a tribute to her talent and a reminder of the suffering she endured. Her story is not just a tragedy, but also a catalyst for social awareness and change in how domestic violence is addressed. Have you ever listened to Ekwueme by Osinachi? What are your thoughts on this heartbreaking case? Share your opinions and help spread the message of protecting women in our communities. Andrae Crouch, the gospel legend and his timeless musical legacy.
If you don't love God, I can't understand how someone can sing gospel music. Honey, that's not the reason. You want to lead people. There's a scripture, wise. So we're doing that because we are wise people, because we love.
Andrae Crouch was not just a talented musician. He was widely regarded as the father of contemporary gospel music. Born on July 1st, 1942 in Los Angeles, he grew up in a devout Christian family, where music and faith were deeply intertwined. From a young age, Crouch displayed a natural gift for music and was given the responsibility of playing the piano at his father's church. It was in this environment that he developed his unique musical style, blending traditional gospel with soul, R&B, and pop, ushering in a new era for contemporary gospel. His work not only inspired believers, but also resonated with audiences beyond the Christian faith, leaving a lasting impact that spanned decades. Throughout his career, Andrae Crouch composed a series of gospel classics, including The Blood Will Never Lose Its Power, Soon and Very Soon, My Tribute, To God Be the Glory, and Through It All. These songs were not just sung in churches. They found their way into mainstream music, helping gospel reach a broader audience. He was also a pioneer in bringing gospel music into mainstream media, making appearances on television and capturing the attention of many legendary artists. His efforts helped propel gospel music into the spotlight, establishing it as a powerful and influential genre within contemporary music. Beyond being a singer and songwriter, Andrae Crouch was an exceptional music producer. He worked with some of the biggest names in the industry, including Michael Jackson, Madonna, Quincy Jones, and Stevie Wonder. One of his most remarkable contributions was his involvement in producing and arranging for Michael Jackson's Bad album, as well as his work on Man in the Mirror, one of the King of Pop's most powerful and socially conscious songs. This collaboration not only elevated Crouch's reputation, but also proved that gospel music could transcend church walls and become an integral part of mainstream music. Despite his incredible success, Andrae Crouch's life was not without challenges. He faced financial struggles, health issues, and personal losses. Yet, in the darkest moments, he found strength and faith to continue creating music. Songs like Through It All and Take Me Back serve as powerful testimonies to his spiritual journey, where music became a source of healing and a bridge between souls. His perseverance and passion allowed him to overcome hardships, leaving behind a musical legacy that remains unparalleled. On January 8, 2015, Andrae Crouch passed away at the age of 72, leaving an immense void in the gospel music world. However, his legacy continues to thrive. His songs are still sung in churches, performed at music festivals, and even featured in Hollywood films. He paved the way for countless gospel artists and played a crucial role in integrating gospel music into popular culture. Have you ever listened to Andrae Crouch's songs? Which one has touched your heart the most? Share your thoughts, and let's honor this gospel legend together. Jesse Dixon, a gospel legend and timeless melodies.
In Christ.
That's the biggest church. That's the headquarters.
Yeah, and they had that.
Going to that.
Yeah.
I remember going to that before anybody knew who I was, and I'd go and wreck the choir.
It was exciting.
It was very exciting. 1,000-voice choir every night.
Jesse Dixon was not just a talented gospel singer, but also an exceptional songwriter and composer who brought religious music closer to audiences worldwide. Born on March 12, 1938, in San Antonio, Texas, Dixon discovered his passion for music at an early age. He began performing as a child in local churches, where his powerful and soulful voice quickly made a strong impression. It was in these settings that Dixon developed his unique style, blending traditional gospel with modern melodies to create a sound that was both deeply moving and full of energy. His career extended beyond church hymns, reaching major stages around the world. One of the defining moments of Jesse Dixon's career was his collaboration with legendary musician Paul Simon. Dixon toured extensively with Simon and contributed vocals to classic albums such as Live Ryman, 1974. This collaboration not only expanded Dixon's audience, but also brought gospel music closer to pop and folk genres. Songs like Loves Me Like a Rock demonstrated that gospel music wasn't just for religious audiences, it had the power to touch hearts, regardless of background or faith. This fusion helped establish Dixon's legacy not only in gospel, but also in mainstream music. Beyond his remarkable voice, Jesse Dixon was an accomplished songwriter. He composed numerous gospel classics performed by top artists like B.B. and C.C. Winans, Bill Gaither, and Amy Grant. Songs such as I Am Redeemed and Gone became beloved anthems in the gospel community and an inspiration for future generations. Dixon strongly believed that music was a powerful vessel for faith, helping people overcome hardships and find hope even in the darkest times. His dedication to gospel music remained unwavering as he continued to craft melodies that resonated deeply with listeners. Spanning over 5 decades, Jesse Dixon's career took him across the globe, from the United States to Europe, Africa, and Asia. He was adored by audiences not just for his talent, but also for his humility and devotion to music. Dixon performed for numerous world leaders, including 3 U.S. presidents. He was also a regular on Bill Gaither's gospel music programs, where his deeply emotional performances of gospel classics brought warmth and spiritual strength to audiences. His presence on stage was always uplifting, leaving a lasting impact on everyone who heard his music. On September 26, 2011, Jesse Dixon passed away at the age of 73 after battling illness, leaving behind a legacy cherished by gospel music lovers worldwide. However, his influence lives on. His songs continue to be performed on stages, in churches, and across digital platforms, inspiring millions of people. Have you ever listened to Jesse Dixon's music? Which of his songs has touched you the most? Share your thoughts and join us in celebrating this gospel legend. Daryl Coley, the legendary gospel voice and tragic stage incident.
The word of the Lord says this: what things you ask, believe it, if you abide in the Lord, then you can.
Daryl Coley was not just an exceptional gospel singer, but also a voice that touched the hearts of millions of music lovers around the world. Born on October 30, 1955, in Berkeley, California, he displayed musical talent from an early age. Influenced by various genres, including classical, jazz, and R&B, Coley developed a unique gospel style that was both traditional and innovative. He was not only a singer, but also a gifted songwriter and music director who worked with gospel legends such as James Cleveland, Edwin Hawkins, and Tremaine Hawkins. With his sweet yet powerful voice, he had the ability to turn every song into an emotional story that resonated deeply with listeners. Coley's career flourished with iconic gospel albums such as Just Daryl, 1986, He's Right on Time, 1990, and When the Music Stops, 1992. Songs like I Can't Tell It All, He's Preparing Me, and Beyond the Veil became beloved church anthems across the United States. What set Coley apart was his ability to blend traditional gospel with elements of soul, jazz, and R&B, creating a distinctive sound. This fusion made him one of the most influential figures in contemporary gospel music, earning him recognition as a living legend among fans and music critics alike. However, Daryl Coley's brilliant career was also marked by heartbreaking challenges. In 1993, he was diagnosed with severe diabetes, which gradually led to vision loss. Yet, his passion for music remained undeterred. He continued composing and performing, inspiring millions with his voice and unwavering faith. But tragedy struck in 2014 when he unexpectedly collapsed on stage during a performance in Oakland, California. The shocking moment left the audience in disbelief. No one could have imagined that such a powerful voice could fall silent under the stage lights. This incident was not only a devastating blow to his fans, but also a stark reminder of the health struggles faced by aging artists. After the on-stage collapse, Daryl Coley's health declined further. He endured chronic pain and severe complications from diabetes. Yet, even in his most difficult times, he remained faithful and optimistic. He continued to compose, mentor young artists, and dedicate his final years to music and his community. On March 15, 2016, Daryl Coley passed away at the age of 60, leaving behind an irreplaceable void in the gospel world. However, his legacy lives on in the hearts of those who have been moved by the sacred power of his songs. Have you ever listened to Daryl Coley's music? Which of his songs has touched you the most? Share your thoughts and join us in honoring this gospel legend. Sister Rosetta Tharpe, the gospel legend and the tragedy at the height of her career.
Oh, it makes me feel happy. Oh, starting to rain and sing. And the people are so sweet to stay here. Yeah. Let me tell you what I come in on.
Sister Rosetta Tharpe was not just a great gospel singer, she was also one of the pioneering artists who paved the way for rock and roll. Born on March 20, 1915, in Cotton Plant, Arkansas, she was raised in a church music environment from a young age. Even as a teenager, Rosetta stood out with her exceptional guitar skills and a powerful, expressive voice. With her rare talent, she quickly became a phenomenon, elevating gospel music to new heights with her bold and distinctive performance style. She broke the boundaries between gospel and secular music, seamlessly blending blues, jazz, and R&B, laying the foundation for the birth of rock and roll. The 1930s and 1940s marked the peak of Sister Rosetta Tharpe's career. She made a lasting impression with classic hits such as This Train, Up Above My Head, and especially Strange Things Happening Every Day, the first gospel song to chart on the pop music rankings in 1945. With her powerful electric guitar, energetic stage presence, and soul-stirring voice, she became a beloved star across America. Moreover, she inspired legendary artists like Chuck Berry, Little Richard, Elvis Presley, and Johnny Cash. At a time when gospel music was mostly confined to churches, Sister Rosetta Tharpe brought it to grand stages, captivating audiences who typically favored secular music. An unprecedented feat in that era. However, her path was not always smooth. Due to her daring and unconventional style, Sister Rosetta Tharpe faced backlash from conservative gospel communities. Many believed she was corrupting sacred music by incorporating electric sounds and blues influences. Despite the criticism, she remained steadfast in her artistic vision, continuously innovating and pushing boundaries. By the late 1950s, as rock and roll began to dominate the music scene, her career slowed down. But that did not extinguish her passion. She continued performing in Europe, where she was honored as a living legend and gained the recognition she rightfully deserved. Tragedy struck in 1970 when Sister Rosetta Tharpe suffered a severe stroke, significantly impacting her health. Due to complications from diabetes, she had to have one of her legs amputated. Even then, she refused to give up music. But fate tested her once again when, in 1973, during a recording session, she suddenly collapsed. The second stroke took her life on October 9, 1973, leaving a deep sense of loss among her fans. Her passing was a great tragedy for the music world, but her contributions to gospel, blues, and rock and roll remain unforgettable. Have you ever listened to Sister Rosetta Tharpe's music? What do you think about her influence on modern music? Share your thoughts and join us in remembering the legend who changed an entire generation. Rance Allen, the gospel legend, with a voice that defined a generation.
Yeah.
Rance Allen wasn't just a gospel singer, he was an icon, a legend with a powerhouse voice and a captivating stage presence. Born on November 19, 1948, in Monroe, Michigan, Rance displayed extraordinary musical talent from an early age. Growing up in the church, he quickly became a rising star in the gospel community. Blending soul, R&B, and gospel, Rance brought a fresh, dynamic energy to sacred music, attracting not only devoted churchgoers, but also fans of secular music. His powerful, versatile, and deeply emotional voice made him one of the most influential figures in contemporary gospel music. When talking about Rance Allen, it's impossible not to mention his timeless hit, Something About the Name Jesus. This song is more than just a melody. It's a prayer of inspiration. He used music to teach, uplift, and bring people closer to their faith. To many, his voice was nothing short of miraculous, every note carrying the power to transform hearts and minds. Sadly, on October 31, 2020, the world lost this gospel legend, leaving an irreplaceable void in the music world. Yet, his legacy will forever live on. Have you ever experienced the electrifying voice of Rance Allen? Do you have a special memory tied to his songs? Share your thoughts, and let's celebrate the life of this gospel icon together. We sincerely appreciate each and every one of you for taking the time to watch today's video. Your support is a huge motivation for us to continue bringing you meaningful and captivating stories about the lives of talented artists. Their music not only left a lasting impression on fans, but also served as an inspiration through every melody and life story. We hope this video has given you a deeper understanding of the career and unforgettable moments of the legendary artist we all admire. Though they may have left the stage, their legacy and music will live on forever in the hearts of their audience. Once again, thank you for being part of this journey. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to stay updated on more incredible stories in our upcoming videos. See you in the next exciting content.